What do women want? The Au Naturel. People have this idea of an American dream where you have the dream job, dream car, dream house, perfect family, perfect everything. American dream, we shop in our malls, work in our offices, run errands at the grocery store, and go to the hospital when we're sick. So why go there in labor? Because it's not a sickness. Labor had to be perfect, efficient, painless, and everything that went along with being part of an American dream. This process of adaptation was only possible due to the large amount of trial and error that was made by the hospitals in order to conduct labor most efficiently. As seen in the Obstetrical and Gynecological Survey Journal, this is done through the use of C-sections, epidurals, and Pitocin because it forces women through this cycle of birthing that's most efficient in hospitals. Of these 22 questions, there was a variation seen in the type. First, there was a short closed question which acquired knowledge of past experiences on a very general level, with not as much opinion. This helped to find a basic majority and to compare the women on a basic level. Whereas the open-ended question, which was the second type of question asked, acquired about personal experience and opinion over said experience. But these answers tended to be longer, more specific details, which were more meaningful but also allowed for deeper connections to analyze, as well as better conclusions over all of the information. On March 6, 2015, the survey was initially distributed to 4 different women via a link to the survey, but through online communication of these women, it spread to many other women to receive the 11 well-rounded responses that it actually did. All the women that had experienced home birth had also experienced other types of birth, but reported that as their favorite. "33% of people wanted a lot of monitors, 25% of people wanted to be laying down, and 17% of people wanted a lot of other people present." At this point in the survey, women were questioned about their experiences in home birth. 33% of women had experienced home birth, whereas the other percentage had not. But 42% of those women had wanted to try it, but due to general birthing pains, distress, and other side effects of labor, they were deterred. Also, in regard to C-sections, 50% of the women had experienced them, with 33% of those being unplanned. And out of those 33%, 80% of them were based on a doctor's suggestion. In regard to Pitocin usage, 92% of women had experienced it, and out of those women, all of them were based on the suggestion of a doctor. For epidural usage, 45% of women chose to have one just based on pain, where 45% of women also chose to have it with Pitocin. Therefore, there is probably some overlap in these numbers. But only 18% of women had experienced labor without epidurals. When asked about whether or not they felt comfortable and safe in hospitals, 75% of women responded that they did feel comfortable, whereas 17% adamantly said that they didn't. The people who had responded that they felt safe did this based on feeling like there was more help, resources, and training provided preemptively at hospitals, whereas the people who didn't felt rushed, pushed into protocols, and looked problematic for staff. Lastly, for overall experiences of labor, 36% of women reported negative experiences in hospitals, whereas the rest seemed rather pleased. With a large number of hospital births, there is a lot of positive feedback corresponding to it, seen in C-sections and epidurals. There are a lot of people who experienced both of these, including 17% of people who chose to have C-sections, and a lot of people who decided on their own terms to have epidurals. But these women were only experienced in that one type, whereas the 2 respondents who had experienced both home and hospital births reported that their home births were their favorite. The lack of being fully informed and the lack of experience is obvious in the way that most people preferred an intimate and relaxed birth and didn't really want too many monitors, too many people, or laying down, which are all typical qualities of a hospital birth, according to the Obstetrical and Gynecological Survey Journal. But beyond just preference, there are reasons why C-sections, Pitocin, and anesthesia are bad for us. C-sections, beyond just women saying that they were harmful and that there was a lot of time for recovery, C-sections are also major surgeries and we tend to forget about that. as seen in the Obstetrical and Gynecological Survey Journal. But according to the British Journal of Midwifery, there are negative effects of epidurals and C-sections because it tends to separate us from the bond that we naturally have with our children when they're born. Also, according to the CMA Journal, it's better and safer because all of this can be avoided if it's a low-risk birth at home. What do you want?